It's week 9 of FOX14 PressBox. The postseason isn't here quite yet in Oklahoma, but our game of the week has a playoff feel. 7-1 Wyandotte hosts 6-2 Quapaw in a battle of two teams trying to finish the regular season strong. Over in Kansas, the playoffs are here. Pittsburgh, Frontenac, Parsons, and more begin the postseason on their home field. Over in Missouri, Carl Junction has had a disappointing regular season, but the Bulldogs also begin the playoffs on home turf. Highlights from those games and much more coming your way over the next half hour. It's FOX14 PressBox, and it starts right now.
You're watching Fox 14's Press Box, sponsored by Missouri Southern State University, Matco Builders, Roper Kia, and Kramer's Quality Meats of Grove.
Hey, welcome into Press Box here on Fox 14. I'm John Dales, that's Brock Baldridge, and it is playoff time.
Yeah, like you said in the intro there, we have postseason football in Kansas and Missouri, but there's still a few weeks left in the regular season in Oklahoma.
Yeah, that brings us to our game of the week, Quapaw against Wyandotte. Big game for both teams. Wyandotte hosting its senior night, trying to move to 8-1. Quapaw comes in at 6-2. Wildcat defense forces a turnover on downs. Their first possession, Austin Lake throws a jump ball for Zane Stand, and he comes down with it. Quapaw takes a 6-0 lead on the road. Now Wyandotte starting freshman QB River Stovall, he looks very poised in his first start. Goes up top to Brady Laughlin, makes the catch, and the Bears tie it at 6 apiece. Same score. Later in the first, Stovall with time in the pocket, and he delivers again, this time to his tight end, Mason Brown, who gets a couple of guys to miss, drags some tacklers with him, and gets past midfield. Later in the drive, Stovall with time, there's a pump fake, double move, and there is Brown again. Wide open in the end zone, touchdown. Wyandotte takes a 12-6 lead. Now last minute of the first half, Quapaw driving, Austin Lake going deep. Two players from each team are there, but it's Colton Neal who wins the jump ball. Quapaw takes a 14-12 lead after making a 2-point conversion. Tight game throughout. Wyandotte hangs on to beat Quapaw by 1 point, 23-22. Very close game. That did feel like the playoffs.
Yeah, it did feel like the playoffs. Well, we go over to the Missouri side where it is the playoffs in high school for state of Missouri at least. Well, in this game, we have a team that's had their struggles this season. Carl Junction, a team that's, been up and down all season long, but they get a home playoff game, and they can really turn some things around on their home turf. Carl Junction at home facing Lincoln Prep Blue Tigers, district quarterfinals here. Bulldogs lead 22-0 at halftime. So into the second half, quarterback Dexter Merrill is going to keep it himself. Going to run down the sideline here and gets a face mask, stays on his feet, and refuses to go down, but eventually does. Later in the drive, Merrill completes this pass to Bentley Roden, but not quite enough for the first down. So after a CJ punt, Lincoln Prep on the move with the ball, but a bad snap. Poor field position now for Lincoln Prep, and on fourth down, they're going to go for it. But Will Coates of Carl Junction is there to bring him down. It's a turnover on downs. Carl Junction takes advantage of the good field position now as Dexter Merrill with the fake handoff fools everyone and easily scores a touchdown. It's now 29-0 Carl Junction. Next Lincoln Prep possession. Aaron Elliott looking to throw, but this ball is going to be bobbled, bounces around, and Tony Stewart for the Bulldogs comes up with the interception. That will lead to this 38-yard field goal by Gavin Cowger. Kick is good. Carl Junction goes up 32-0, and that will be the final score. Carl Junction gets their second win of the season as they go on to beat the Lincoln Blue Tigers 32-0. Yeah, big win for Carl Junction. It's nice to get a home win in the district quarterfinals.
Definitely nice to see them get a win. The playoffs are underway in Missouri, but last night we also had the postseason high school playoffs beginning in Kansas. Colgan at home facing Pleasanton. Colgan opening the Class 1A playoffs at home against Pleasanton. First snap of the game. Cooper Simmons jumps in front of this pass, says thank you very much, takes it to the house. Pick six, 13 seconds in. It's 7-0 Colgan. Now the Panthers offense on the field. Tucker Harrell drops back to pass. He's got time, heaves it deep. Clayton Adamson on the other end of that throw, makes the catch, gets into the end zone. 50-yard scoring play is 14-0 Colgan. Panthers on 4th and 12 on their next drive pick up the first down, it seems, but they fumble it once getting past the sticks. So that gives it back to Pleasanton, but no issue for the Colgan defense. Second pick six of the first quarter. This time it's Kyson Bennett, 21-0 Colgan. Pleasanton forced to punt on its next drive. Real deep punt, bounces over the head of the returner, Anthony Schremer. He picks it up on a hop, gets a couple of blocks, and I think you can tell where this play is going. He's going to take this one all the way back to the end zone for a touchdown. Never in doubt. Colgan wins 68-13, and it'll host Jayhawk Lynn next Friday. And as we head to break, here's a look at some of the other scores throughout Oklahoma.
Welcome back to PressBox here on Fox 14. The Frontenac Raiders are the top seed in the Class 3A bracket in the state of Kansas. Now the Raiders came into the 2022 season as their season ended to the Girard Trojans, who beat them 36-0. Now 1 year later, Frontenac meets Girard once again in round one of the playoffs. Starting this one in the third quarter, Trojans quarterback Jake Towner handing off to Junior Love as he breaks through 40 yards for the touchdown. Trojans put up 6 points there. Staying in the third quarter now, Raiders hand off to running back Gavin Whithun as he runs about 15 yards before being tackled out of bounds. Few plays later, Cal Turlop, the quarterback, drops back and launches this one to his wide receiver Trey Kramer. Wide open for the touchdown, jogs in the end zone for 6. Frontenac would go on winning this one 42-20.
Outside of the CNC, now we go to the SCK. We already saw Colgan host a playoff game at Hutch Field last night. Tonight, Pittsburgh is at home. Purple Dragons looking to move on, facing Lansing. Starting the first quarter, Pittsburgh's Carson Nicholson throws to the sideline. Wyatt Rink makes the catch, makes a guy miss, and he's gone all the way to the end zone for a touchdown. How about that? For Pittsburgh, they take an early 6-0 lead. Later in the first quarter, this time, short little pitch to Rink. He drops the football. Lansing's going to jump on that, and the Lions are going to make the most of it. Dalton Jorgensen launches into the end zone. Caden Howell makes the catch there. Lions put up 6. Later in the first quarter, Pittsburgh's Wyatt Rink once again takes this one to the outside and gets a first down before running into our camera. That would help set up this handoff. Right back to Rink. Why not go back to him? He reaches over the goal line and in for a Purple Dragon touchdown, but Lansing ends up getting the win, 19-14.
Boy, did not expect that one to show up for that final score at least. Well, the Parsons Vikings got off to a 5-0 start before losing their last 4 games of the season in 2022. Now this year, the Vikings entered the Class 3A playoffs with a 7-1 record, and they host a very capable Iola team at home. Mustangs looking for the upset against the Parsons Vikings. Going to start this one off with the ball here to give to Jamarian Washington. He's going to pick up the first down and drag defenders with him. Very next play, Vikings go through the air to Trey Mack to Landon Wheat, and that's also good for a first down. Trey Mack is now going to keep this one as he runs it out and almost into the cameraman here. Look out. That's also good for a first. Vikings now inside the 10 trying to put some points on the board. The pass is broken up. So late in the first now, score still 0-0. Next possession, screen pass to Washington. He's going to pick up a first down and a few yards more. Look at the big man rumble here. Goes down inside deep into Iola territory. Now early second quarter, Vikings back in the red zone, going to give it to Jamarian Washington again, and he's going to rumble into the end zone. And finally, some points on the board. Score is going to stay Vikings 6-zip. Mustangs now trying to go on the offense themselves. Throw here is intercepted by Parsons, and they're going to take this one all the way back. It's a pick 6, and the Parsons Vikings go up 13-zip into the third as they go on to win this one 20-0.
And as we head to another break, here are some other scores throughout Southeast Kansas. Hey, welcome back into PressBox. We go over to Missouri and we go over to the Big 8. Mount Vernon earned itself a first-round playoff game in the district playoffs as Hollister comes to town. Students ready to go on a cold and rainy night. Hollister goes 3 and out on its first possession. Mountaineers on offense now. Gavin Johnson flips this one to Braden Dodson. Makes this run look easy. Finally pushed out of bounds, and running backs have had a habit of running into our cameras tonight, but that's all the way to the 40. A few plays later, Dodson again with the ball, dives across the goal line and in. Touchdown, Mount Vernon. They missed the PAT. 6-0 Mountaineers. Hollister now going for it on 4th down. Here's a fake punt, and they're going to pick up the first down and more. However, this play gets called back for a penalty. Now punting it for real, and Hollister unable to even get the punt away on a bad snap. Mount Vernon gets great field position. Later on, 2 plays. Dodson again. No issues finding the end zone. 2-point conversion good. It's 14-zip Mountaineers. Second quarter now, after a 40-yard run, here he is again. 3rd touchdown of the first half. Dodson into the end zone. 21-0 Mount Vernon. They go on to win easy, 42-0 the final.
Well, we only have a handful of COC teams playing tonight. One of those being the Carthage Tigers, who won 5 of their last 6 games of this season. Tigers didn't get off to a great start to the year, but none of that matters right now because the postseason is now underway, and we almost have to say the Tigers have hit the reset button. District quarterfinals, aka round 1 of the playoffs. Carthage back at home facing the Smith Cotton Tigers, who made the trip from Sedalia. Starting the first quarter, Landon Collins taking the handoff. He spins, makes multiple defenders miss before he goes down to the 35-yard line. What a run. That play is going to lead to this goal line play here as Brady Carlton, the quarterback, punches it in for the touchdown. Carthage scores on their opening drive. Tigers up 7-0. First Smith Cotton possession now. Gavin Jackson, the quarterback, going to look to go deep on 3rd down. It's almost intercepted by Noah Norbury. And then that will lead to a 41-yard field goal. It is good. Smith Cotton gets on the board, but they still trail 7-3. Next Carthage possession. Landon Collins, again, why not? Just keep giving it to him. Rumbling as he drags defenders with him, and that run is going to lead to this first play of the second quarter. Collins jumps over the pile into the goal line. Touchdown Carthage. They take a 14-3 lead, I should say. Next Carthage possession, just keep giving it to Landon Collins. Handoff as he refuses to be tackled tonight. That sets up for an easy touchdown for Brady Carlton. No sweat for the Carthage Tigers as they go on to beat the Smith Cotton Tigers 42-3.
Man, I think Landon Collins is still running over at that field. Now we go to the Big 8 again. Playoff game between Aurora and Cassville tonight. When these two met in Week 3, it was decided by just 3 points. That was a Cassville win. Now Aurora and Cassville meeting in a District 6 battle of 5 and 4 teams. Cassville comes out going deep, but that's where Clayton Jaramillo plays. Picks that one off. Big play. So here come the Hound Dogs. Apparently Colton Rourke was jealous though because he's going to do the same the other way. Cassville gets the ball right back. They're already up 7-0. They want more. Kyle Bailey goes into the end zone. Touchdown Cassville. They're up 14-zip. And then Cassville's defense steps up again. Mason Bryant Strip sack here, ball is loose. Cosmo Rhodes takes it in the end zone for a touchdown. Cassville goes on to win big, 24-14, final score.
As we head to break, here are some other scores throughout Southwest Missouri.
Welcome back to FOX14 PressBox. We take a look now again at the Big 8 Conference.
Yeah, McDonald County, they're in the district quarterfinals tonight at home against a team that they beat by 20 points earlier this season. Friday night football in Mustang country, getting loose here. And this play is the tight end Vince James. James finds his way into the end zone. Mustangs go up 14-0. And then the quarterback Dustin Down taking matters in his own hands, getting past the midfield before being brought down. Then Dowd, later in the drive, once more shakes a few defenders before hitting the turbo button and gets all the way to the end zone for the touchdown. Then they give it to the running back here, Malosi Sosiev, barreling his way through some Blue Jays before finally coming down. And the Mustangs win big in this one, 41-0. They will face West Plains next week on the road. Now we stick with our Missouri schools in Southwest Missouri, over to the Southwest Conference.
Yeah, Sarcoxy had a great season, 8-1. Meanwhile, one of their rivals, Diamond, looks to spoil the party as the two teams meet this Friday night. Misty night for this rivalry game in the playoffs. Nonetheless, with the Sarcoxy Bears taking on the Diamond Wildcats. Second play of the game, Blake Heckmaster calls his own number, and look at him go. Down the sideline and into the end zone for the Sarcoxy touchdown. Diamond answers right back, though. Kendall King gets into the end zone now, over to Sarcoxy. Noah Garrison not liking what he sees outside. He cuts inside, and he gets to pay dirt. 14-7 Sarcoxy. Diamonds goes right back to King, though. He delivers with another massive rushing play deep into Sarcoxy territory, and then gives it to King again up the middle into the end zone. 14-14 at that point. How about some defense now? Dylan Manley takes Chris Lara down for a loss. And Kendall King, once again, rumbling up the middle. Massive game for him. Sarcoxy ends up falling on this one. Diamond takes it on the road, 49-14. And now it's time for us to give the power over to you, the viewers. We give you three options at who had the best performance tonight. You decide who's the best simply by voting. In our performance of the week, our first option is the winner from our game of the week. That's Wyandotte. We've seen the Bears a few times in this poll throughout the year. They beat a very good Quapaw team tonight, and they do so without their starting quarterback.
The second option is the Carthage Tigers, and they dominated in their playoff home opener against the Smith Cotton Tigers tonight. 42-3 final score. Thanks for big games from Brady Carlton and Landon Collins.
And our third option, the team you just saw, the rare upset and blowout. Diamond goes on the road to Sarcoxy, who was 8-1. Just beat them by 26 a few weeks ago, and the Wildcats blow out the Bears 49-14.
Lots of great choices there.
Definitely good choices. Make sure to get your vote in, koamnewsnow.com/vote. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for you in this edition of FOX14 PressBox. Next week, Brock, is our last show.
I cannot believe that.
It is
It's
crazy.
just flown by, this season has.
Thanks, everybody, for staying up with us. We'll see you then.